Welcome to 8 Well, Baseline's series of short, low-budget films about healthy eating with HIV. Firstly, I need to say a big thank you to all the people living with HIV who took part in the films, and to the experts who gave up their time. In the series, you're going to meet Claire Stradling, an HIV specialist dietitian from Birmingham Heartlands Hospital. She taught us that people living with HIV don't need a diet any different to anyone else, but that diet can play a powerful role at lowering blood cholesterol, which is often a side effect of antiretroviral treatment. Her colleague Marty von der Linde, a paediatric dietitian, teaches about food for babies, toddlers and kids with HIV. Martha Bailey from Waverley Care in Edinburgh teaches us about the services they provide to young mothers, providing formula feed for newborn babies. Damon Nichols from the food chain talks to us about their services in London. Sylvia Petretti and Angelina Namiba show off their world-class cooking skills. Eunice Sinyemu and Memory Sachikonye take me on a trip to Dalston Market with a £35 budget and teach me a lot about how healthy the African diet really can be. Mara McNabb from Waverley Care again talks to us about our emotional attachment to food. And finally, chef Megan Morrison teaches us about whole foods and how quick, simple and easy they can be to make. We hope that you find the films fun, because we certainly had a lot of fun making them, and we hope that overall that food can be something that you find can forge friendships and help you counter isolation. We certainly made friends during the project, and we hope that overall it gives you confidence in the kitchen. Finally, a big thank you to Vive Healthcare who supported the activity. We're here on a freezing cold Saturday morning in January at Dalston Market, and we're going to try and buy a week's worth of African food for 35 quid. I'm here with a couple of friends today.
My name is Eunice from Zambia.
And I'm Memory from Zimbabwe.
This is a sweet potato, and it's very commonly eaten in many African countries and by many Africans. And it's very, very nutritious. It's almost equivalent to just an ordinary potato which you feel chips. And the way you cook it, you can bake it, you can roast it, you can deep fry it if you want to eat it as chips, and just you eat it as just as normal as you eat. You can mash it, so it's really, really nutritious as well. It's got very high starch though.
Ginger has multitude of benefits. It's very good for your tummy. You know, if you have an upset tummy, if you have like side effects from a bloated tummy. I use it myself when I'm feeling a bit run down, like when I have a cold. I have my ginger with my lemon and honey, like making it into a tea. You can use it for seasoning in your food, so like just grate it or use it when you're cooking. The lady just saying that it helps with your brain cells, but we also know that it's a very good antioxidant. This is the actual turmeric, not the one you find in a pack. So this is fresh turmeric, so which you can use in your cooking as well. And then we also have the cassava, which is mainly from East Africa. Cassava,
Found everywhere.
it's everywhere, but I need from East Africa. And you peel, steam, deep fry as chips, and it's quite healthy as well. This is lady's fingers, otherwise known as okra, which can be used in Africa. I mean, like where I come from, we just cook it on its own with onions and a bit of chili for a hangover cure. Pumpkin, my absolute favorite food, which you can either just steam and have it as a snack, or you can have it with your savory food, or you can bake it and then have it as a soup, or just have a baked pumpkin, scoop out the seed, wash it out, season it with a bit of salt and olive oil, whack in the oven, and presto, you can have something very nice. These are nuts, which are good for snacking, but be careful, they are a bit high in fats. Rice, this is £3.30 for a bag of rice. I'm sure you can have this like for over a week. It's quite a lot of rice in here, but my favorite will probably be the beans. This is brown beans. Soak them overnight, boil them. I mean, if you want to conserve electricity, for example, you can boil the whole lot and then separate them and freeze. So when you want to cook them, you just make your stew, like the soup to go with it, and then just put your beans in. This should see you like, this is what, like, even as a single person, I probably use this maybe about 5 times because they expand when they are cooked.
These are lentils. Lentils are very, very nutritious as well. You can use these as a soup. You can make soup out of them, or you can just boil them and use them as an accompaniment for something else. And they are really, really cheap. They are only £1.60 and they can last you for a very long time. So really, really very healthy food as well, and very tasty.
All the seasonings over there, they're quite reasonable, probably £1 each. So if you buy a packet of seasoning, you probably use it for a month. So that's a way to conserve money. And there's also, I mean, there's various other seasonings like from the Caribbean, which can be used in African cooking as well. Chickens are 2 for £5. Have them cut so you can know cook a portion that you want. So that's a good bargain. That's chicken, white meat, highly nutritious and very easy to cook. And that's a bargain. We also have some tripe, cheap and cheerful, but also quite nutritious. And it's the only white meat in a cow. And the old favorite is the oxtail. We tend to love oxtail a lot. So you can also just stew it.
These are kidneys. The kidneys are very, very high. They are very good for your blood. They are very good for everything else. They are very, very nutritious. And quite cheap meat as well, and it's very tasty as well. In English is amaranthus. In Zambian language we call it iwondwe. It's very, very nutritious. It's got a lot of iron in it. It's very good for your nails. It's very good for your immune system, and it's quite cheap as well to just grow. It's almost like a wild plant, but it's in the same family as spinach. So actually getting this, it really covers all the vegetables that you need.
And this is the ordinary spinach that you normally find in shops or even in the English shops. And as Eunice says, this is one other type of spinach. This is the other type, and they're all high in iron. I take them myself for my anemia, and they're very good and tasty. You can put them in your stews. One of the staples in our African diets is the maize, cornmeal or maize meal, and we can use it for porridge, or as my country calls it sadza. You call it?
Shima.
And other countries can call it anything, and there's quite a range here. We have, this one is made from South Africa, but it's the same thing. And then there's also something called semolina, which is the yellow variety. And then we have the rice flour, which can also used to make sadza or porridge. And then as you can see, this is all maize meal as well. Boil it with water, thick porridge as they call it. You can have it with your meat, with your vegetables, and you can have it as porridge with peanut butter, milk, whatever you want to have it as breakfast.
Mango, absolutely good for you. It's got lots of vitamins. It's got a lot of. It contains that yellow pigment, which is very good for your eyesight. Very sweet. No need for cooking. If you want a lot of roughage, you can eat even the skin as well. It's a fantastic fruit, and it's very common among the Africans.
And it's just another variety. I think this one comes from India, and this is mainly found in Brazil. But I mean, mango is very common in Africa. It grows in warm countries, and this is probably sweeter than that.
We're back at home now after about an hour or so in the market, and I just really want us to recap on what we've actually bought today, because I'm still obviously an idiot and a bit confused by some of it. So you tell me what we've bought.
Yeah, we bought the fish, which we got at £5, and we bought it because we know fish is quite nutritious in any form. It's got a very good fat for the heart.
What kind of fish was that we bought?
This is tilapia. It's called tilapia. It's called by different names depending on where you come from. Where we come from in Zambia, we call it a bream. In Zambia we get, I think it's a water bream rather than a sea bream, a freshwater bream.
Okay.
Okay, and then we also got some chicken, which was two full chickens for £5 that you can chop and then cook. Chicken is white meat, quite nutritious as well, and quite tasty. And the way you can cook this chicken is by stewing it. So you avoid frying, which sort of lessens your, the high fat that you want. So by the time you steam it, boil it, and then season the way you want. I think we did showcase some seasonings earlier on, which are like store foods that you probably already have. So we've got chicken, and then we also got some three kinds of spinach. This is the wild spinach, which Eunice calls it what?
Amaranthus.
Amaranthus. It's at home. It grows in the wild, and it's very high in vitamin C and
calcium
and iron, very high in iron as well. And then the other ordinary spinach, which is somewhere in the bag here. This is a sweet potato that we also bought. Sweet potato, as we said, is quite versatile. You can steam it, you can bake it, you can fry it. And as I mentioned probably earlier, that you can also have this with your tea. Like instead of bread, you can have tea with with steamed sweet potato.
Yeah, and then we came back to buy some fruit. We bought 2 mangoes. Mangoes are, as Memory said, they are also quite versatile. They are very sweet, and you get so many varieties of them. So it's up to you to individual taste, and they are quite cheap. And also we got Memory's favorite, which is pumpkin. Pumpkin is very good also for your eyesight because of the yellow pigments which it's got. It's almost as good as eating a carrot. And with pumpkin, you can either boil it, you can steam it. I prefer steaming it because then it retains all the sugars in it. Sometimes you can even make soup out of it, really, just the ordinary soup. So all the foods we've bought are quite, you can prepare them in different ways depending on how you want to use it. And then we've got lentils. Lentils are very good as well for so many things, but you can use them to make soup, or you can just use them as an accompaniment for something. And then we've got maize meal. Now maize meal comes in different names. This one is Iwisa, which is South African, but you can just get maize meal. It's all the same. It's made from white maize, or some people do get the yellow ones as well. It's quite very good in terms of starch, and it's quite filling as well. It's a vegetable, and it has no fat of any kind whatsoever. We got some beans, and we all know beans are quite good as well. And we got some nuts. Now, some people call these, depending on where you come from. In Zambia, we call them ground nuts because they grow underground, and they are very good. You can roast them. If you want, you can make powder which you can add into the vegetables. So they are really, really good as well. It's like a snack, the nuts you get in shops which are already sorted. It is you have a choice either to sort them, and you don't have to fry them in fat. Then we got this is maize. This is maize at its best. If you ground this, it comes out as that powder, but you can boil it and eat it just the way it is. You can add sugar, you can add a bit of butter. I prefer adding peanut powder because it tastes very, very good with that. This is a semi-ground maize meal, and my grandmother used to call it muchu, which is a Xhosa word. Boil it, and you can have it with your stew, and or the other way Eunice prefers to cook it. We also got this yam, which is the puna yam, which you can also steam, or can you bake a yam? Yeah, you can also bake a yam, but it's quite nutritious as well. And the magic thing that we discovered today is turmeric, fresh turmeric. Apparently it's very good for Alzheimer's and repairing brain cells. We were told by the lady who sold it to us. I mean, we know turmeric as the powder, which you can use as seasoning, but this woman was saying you can have it as a tea, crush it and put it with boiling milk, and then drink it. It helps to repair your brain cells at our age.
So I think what amazed me today was the range of foods that we were faced with. And we've made quite a broad selection here, but I think you could go back next week and choose something completely different, really. We had a £35 budget. We've spent 34 quid, so we're a pound under budget, which is absolutely wonderful. And I think if we pushed it a little bit, we probably could have bargained. What do you think about, we could have gone into the market and bargained the prices down?
Oh yes, and it also depends on the timing. You know, if you go when the market is about to close, that's not a good time to go to the market to buy cheap stuff. When they're about to close, they're probably going to chuck it away anyway. So you can get good stuff, put it in the freezer or put it in your fridge, and it will last. Do your beans, and then you can have it with the samp. We call it samp at home, or my grandmother from South Africa used to call it. It will come back. Okay.